Hey friends, welcome back to Fantasy I Watch. Today we are going to be doing our recap of Season 2, Episode 1 of The Wheel of Time. This is going to be non-spoilery. If you're interested in a spoiler chat comparing the books to the show, I will be doing that tonight live at 8 Eastern. Let's jump into the episode. The episode begins with the Dark Council. This is something where all of the partners of the Dark One get together, they have a meeting. We are brought into this perspective by this little girl who kind of sees what's going on, but she's scared from some Trollocs. She then runs inside because, of course, she's scared, doesn't really know what's going on. She is then able to crawl under this table. By being under the table, it gives us some POVs as to who is at this meeting. We see, of course, that there are Shan Chen, there are Aes Sedai, and we know that there is an Aes Sedai there from the ring that is on their finger. But the main thing that we learn from this meeting is that Ishmael is there. Ishmael is a Forsaken. He is the main Forsaken. He was the person that Rand thought to be the Dark One at the end of the last season. We see that he is now released and that he has organized this meeting. Meanwhile, across the world, we have Moraine, who appears to still be stilled. She is doing all of these tasks by hand. Specifically, she is carrying all this water up a hill because we know from season 1, Moraine really likes baths. So this is something that they're continuing, that she's either been shielded or stilled and that she's in a very desolate place. We meet some new characters here. Specifically, we meet Varen, but we see a shirtless Lan, Moraine's warder, once again. Varen's sister, we see, and their warder, Tomas. But we don't really know exactly what is going on here at this point in time, other than the fact that Moraine and Lan have been kind of seeking refuge here. And we know that these two are also Aes Sedai. We can tell by Varen's outfit that she is a brown Aja. We then juxtapose this with Egwene and Nynaeve at the White Tower. We get kind of a Game of Thrones feeling with Sam being at the Citadel, where they have to do these really mundane tasks. It seems here that everyone is a novice and they have been given a task by Alana to use weaving in order to take muddy water and make it drinkable. This is something that everyone is supposed to be able to do, and they're showing weaving at this point, and that weaving can be different colors. Each Aja has representatives for its colors. We see in this meeting here that they are discussing Nynaeve and her lack of ability to channel since the killing of the Trollocs and her somewhat resurrection. Liandrin kind of steps forward in that she wants to be Nynaeve's teacher. We then go back to seeing Perrin and Loyal. Loyal, who was stabbed at the end of season 1, is apparently just fine, and he's laughing. You can see here he's all healed. Perrin is with the Shienarans. They are on the hunt for the Horn of Valir, and we see a lot of these people that were supposedly stabbed at the end of last season. We see them encountering these corpses, and we know that these people have been attacked by Pat Fane due to these visions that Perrin is now starting to have. When we go back to Moraine, we see that Moraine is now collecting collectibles, and she's being very secretive about doing this. Lan is seeking advice and talking to Tomas, a fellow warder. We know that from season 1 that Lan has a good relationship with other warders, and we see here that this has not changed despite the fact that there is a significant age difference between him and Tomas. Tomas is able to guide him on this. Moraine is able to then strike a bargain for this piece of information. She wants what was then written at the Eye of the World rather than the piece of the ceiling. She's able to negotiate a pretty important thing for herself here, showing that she is still an Aes Sedai, even though she's been shielded or cut off from the source. But we have Nynaeve, who is actually at the White Tower training to be an Aes Sedai, but instead of taking that seriously, she's still spending more time with the warders. This is something that we saw in episode 4 of season 1. They're continuing this plot for Nynaeve, and that she seems to bond with them more. Meanwhile, Egwene is actually taking her time there seriously and is trying to seek advice from Alana, who is a green Aja, while Alana mistakes this for Egwene seeking advice as to how to take 2 lovers, aka 2 warders, for herself, because a lot of greens do, in fact, do this. But that is not what Egwene is looking for at all in terms of advice. We see Liandrin is trying to push Nynaeve because Nynaeve, we realize from season 1, is only able to channel when she's really angry or upset. Liandrin kind of proves this theory. With Nynaeve being pushed to her limit, she then is able to mimic what Liandrin was doing with her weaving. So it seems that once again, Nynaeve is reliant on being very angry or very upset to once again channel. We go back to Perrin, who sees that they are burying the dead, as well as the dark friend that had died in this area, and he is wondering why. Lan and Moraine are having a very strained relationship in this episode. Moraine is very much working in solitude and doesn't seem to want Lan's company. Nynaeve receives a letter from Perrin, and all of the kids in different parts of the world are lamenting that they are apart and they don't really know where each other are, but they also think that Ran is dead. But we do get a reveal here that Mat has actually been kept hostage in the White Tower by Liandrin. This is in keeping with the end of last season, where Moraine sent word to the Red Aja to find Mat Cawthorn, which they did clearly, and Liandrin has been keeping in under her wraps. This is where the episode kind of has its final big shebang. Moraine is being tailed by several eyeless and does not have Lan with her because she chose to go off by herself. She was going to abandon Lan. Lan comes forward to try to save her, and we get this reveal that it seems that Moraine is able to then once again channel. However, this is not correct. It is Adelius and it is Varen and their warder Tomas come in to kind of help her. And we can see in this episode, it's clear that they are giving each Aja their own color with weaving. While that comes across as a bit of orange, it's actually brown, which is interesting because typically browns don't have warders. Some do, but they're not typically used in the warrior type sense. They're used more in a scholarly effect. The episode then ends with everyone kind of coming together, with them being saved, I guess, with Moraine and Lan, and that's where the episode culminates. A lot of stuff happens in this episode. We have a big time jump at the beginning from where we left off at the end of season 1. I don't want to be too spoilery here because I'm going to have a discussion with Christopher Navo tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, where we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of episode 1 and episode 2, comparing it to the books and seeing what's different, what's the same. Spoiler, there is not much that is the same. So that is something we will be getting into in depth this evening. You can let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the first episode of season 2 of The Wheel of Time. If you like videos like this, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will continue to do these non-spoilery reviews and recaps for the season of Wheel of Time, in addition to doing the live chats with Christopher Navo. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at FantasyWash, and as always, I'll see you next time.